My name is Taylor Williams, and I've been a member at UNCG since 2008. Please don't do the math. But I'm here to talk to you today about a resource on campus that has continuously supported me throughout my public speaking adventures. And this resource is the University Speaking Center. Now, it's common in college for students to have to give a presentation, whether if it's an informative presentation, maybe it's a persuasive presentation, or even sometimes it can be a group presentation or debate. But the University Speaking Center will support you with your ongoing process of becoming a more confident and competent communicator. And they do this through collaborative consultation, instruction, and feedback. Now, I know this to be true not just from personal experience, but it's because it's their mission statement. So today I'm going to talk to you about two very important things. First one is the 5-step process of speech making. And the second thing is ways that the University Speaking Center can help support you with this ongoing process. So let's dive in. There is a 5-step process to speech making. When I first learned this, I felt more competent, more knowledgeable about how to make a speech and deliver it. So let's go over the steps real quickly. Step 1, invention. Step 2, disposition or arrangement. Step 3 is style. Step 4 is memory. And step 5 is delivery. So let me just break this down a little, each step for you. Step 1, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be discovering our topic. Right? We're going to be collecting data, we're going to be researching. We're always going to keep in mind what our audience needs to hear. How can we tailor our information so that it is relevant to our audience and that it connects with them personally? We also want to assess our credibility as a speaker. Do we have the authority to speak on this topic? And we want to see what kind of information is out there. So again, we're researching, we're collecting articles and data to support and build our presentation. So this is all step 1, invention. Step 2, disposition or arrangement. I want you to think of outlining or organizing. It's very similar to the writing process. It has 3 main parts. It has the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. It also has transitions within the whole outline, between the introduction and the body, between the body and the conclusion, and between each main point. Now, during this disposition and arrangement phase, we're also going to be establishing our main ideas in the body and anchoring supporting evidence that we got from our research in step 1. So this is step 2. Now, step 3 is really fun. It's called style. And this is where we're framing our presentation in effective language. So we're adding a little bit of polish to this outline. We're making sure that our language is concise, it is concrete, and it is vivid. We want to make sure that our audience are also able to picture what we are saying throughout this presentation. And we can do this through literary techniques such as repetition, alliteration, and using a parallel style. The last thing you want to check for is any special terms or technical terms that need to be defined for your audience. This is what happens in step 3, the style. So you kind of can think of this as revision if you're thinking about the writing process. 4-step memory, this is practice. Now, according to communication scholar James McCroskey, practicing can reduce your public speaking anxiety by 70%, right? But when you're committing your speech to memory, it's not just mental memory, it's also physical memory. You want to make sure you're able to recite what you want to say, but also rehearse when you're going to want to point to the back and highlight something from your presentation, when you want to move around the room, when you want to hold your stance. This is all very important with practicing. You can practice your whole presentation in its entirety, or you can focus on certain segments of your presentation and practice those over and over again. You can never practice too much, though. The more you practice, the better you're off. The last step is step 5, delivery. This is really presenting your message, not just vocally, but verbally, non-verbally, with your appearance and your facial expressions, your body language, and even digitally if you have a presentation, a PowerPoint, or a Prezi. So actively practicing this process will help you master the craft of public speaking. The Speaking Center will support you at any stage of this process, at any stage. So if you just get in a presentation assignment, you can go to the Speaking Center at stage 1. In fact, Their types of consultations are modeled around the 5 steps process. So when you come to the Speaking Center and you make an appointment, you will meet with the consultant, who is mostly our undergraduate students, and they range in various majors around campus. All consultants have completed and passed a college-level training course called CST 390, Speaking Center Theory and Practice. When you meet with them, you can make an organization appointment, which covers steps 1, 2, and 3. This is where we're brainstorming together, or working on developing an outline, or putting on that polish and working on style. Second type of appointment is practice, so this is step 4. This is where you're able to get in front of a trained consultant and practice your presentation. You can even be recorded so you're able to see how you present yourself in front of an audience, and maybe be able to give yourself a few critiques after viewing it. Outside of these 2 consultations, we also have a video review appointment. So this is after you've already given your presentation and say it's recorded. You can bring that recording into the Speaking Center and watch it with the consultant. The consultant will exchange feedback with you, and then it's more of a goal-setting appointment, and you'll be able to lead with 1 or 2 things that we call an action plan, so that we can continue to support your ongoing growth. Now remember I told you that sometimes college will make you do group presentations? We even have group consultations that can be organization or practice. And finally, say that you're not able to make it to our physical location on campus, we can meet you online through Google Hangouts and do online appointments for organization and practice. We're really good with it individually, and most of the time technology will support groups up to 4 or 5. So that's a little explanation of our consultation. Now there are 2 very important policies at the Speaking Center. First policy is the 5-minute late policy. Since our appointments are typically 30 minutes, we have a very systematic approach of going through our consultations. If you're more than 5 minutes late, we're not able to get everything we need to get done. So we'll have to cancel that appointment and try to reschedule to the best of our ability, right? Second policy is the 2-day policy. Now this one can get a little bit complicated, so I'm going to try to break it down. The 2-day policy says that if you have a presentation and you want to make an appointment with the Speaking Center, your first appointment with the Speaking Center has to be 2 days before your final presentation is due. So if your final presentation is due on a Wednesday, your first appointment with us needs to be made on that Monday. Now, say you want to make that first appointment days ahead of time, weeks ahead of time, months ahead of time, fantastic, right? But that first appointment needs to be at least 2 days ahead of time. Then, after that first appointment, you can make as many appointments as you want. And this is to help with public speaking anxiety. Finally, I want to talk to you about, there are 2 ways to make an appointment at the Speaking Center. You can call us, and our phone number is located on our webpage. Or you can come in to our Speaking Center site on campus and make a walk-in appointment with our front desk manager. And since I mentioned the website that's behind me, you can access that at speakingcenter.uncg.edu. On this webpage, we have a chat box that allows you to talk with our front desk manager if you have any quick questions about public speaking. But more importantly, under student resources, we have lists and lists of tip sheets that are all organized within the 5-step process. So say you have just a quick questions about transitions, verbal fillers, eye contact, and you really don't want to make an appointment, you can always check out our tip sheets. All this to be said, our regular operating hours during the semester at the Speaking Center are 6 days a week. We're Monday through Friday, and we have limited hours on Sunday. Right? But our specific hours you can see on the webpage. We're also open sometimes during the summer, but again, I would consult the webpage since they have the most updated information on when we're open. Thank you all for listening to me talk about the 5-step process and the ways that the Speaking Center can support you. I hope this information will be helpful as you journey through your academic career and your professional careers. Throughout my journey, I have learned that you have to work hard at being a great public speaker, and the Speaking Center has your back.